Hey folks, MasakoX here, and this is the story of Tarble having spent his life on Earth after being exiled from planet Vegeta. It's a pretty cool story, and one that you can catch up with part 1 in the pinned comment below. Although the day in the forest was rather lovely, Goku's mind was still on avenging Krillin. Though still determined, his failure against Tambourine made him rethink his future movements. Having Tarble by his side would help, but Yajirobe could also have proven to be a worthwhile ally. While grumpy and seemingly uninviting, the two boys could feel that he had somewhat softened his stance toward them. Still, the sound that woke them up was of a stomach growling loudly.
Oh man, Yajirobe, I know that I have an appetite, but you're on a whole other level.
Yeah, I'm a big man, come on, I need to eat.
The Ronin protested, looking at them judgingly, Tarble noticing that he gave the power pole a rather quizzical look and poked Goku about it, which gave the shorter of the Saiyans an idea.
Say, you're hungry, huh?
He asked.
Well, isn't that obvious? I shared my supper with you two stragglers, but maybe I was too good for you.
Well, what if I tell you that we can take you to a place that has enough food to satiate you for a whole 10 days?
Goku smiled wildly and spectacularly. Can we? Tarble looked surprised. He did not expect his new friend to use his observation in such a manner.
Yeah, and where the place is where my power pole comes from. Korin Tower.
Yajirobe blinked twice.
Wait, you mean to tell me that ginormous tower over there, you've been up it?
The Ronin seemed like he just discovered a huge revelation.
Oh, yeah, me and Korin, we're buddies.
Goku smiled.
And he has food, this Korin.
Yajirobe was trying to make sure that this was true, and at the same time, part of him still seemed suspicious enough to question the kid.
Well, yeah, I'm a little weakened by the fight, but he would have ways to bring my strength back lickety-split. You two seem tough enough to climb there, so why don't we give it a try?
All right, what are we waiting for?
Yajirobe was really eager. He started to pack the camp really quickly, suspiciously quickly. Are you for real, Goku? Could this Korin really provide us with all of that? Tarble was really surprised himself. He had heard legends about the sacred land before, but Goku mentioning something that was almost like a mythical creature as a best bud made him have doubts of his own.
Oh, yeah. I went there to receive special training a while back, but before I went on to fight the Red Ribbon Army.
Goku smiled, really seeming proud of his achievements. Oh, so that's how you got so strong. Tarble's eyes brightened. Do you think that this Korin could train me as well, so I can get stronger?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that he can, but I gotta warn you, the way to the tower is really tricky.
The other Saiyan smirked, quite emboldened by the fact that Tarble was so plucky. Seeing that he was still a little bit weak, Yajirobe carried him in order to secure his promised magical food. He would do anything right now. Perhaps he hoped that by helping Korin's friend, he'd be more likely to receive this wonderful bounty. Tarble had to admit that this corpulent gent with a sword was shockingly strong. He might not even be skilled with ki, yes, but the way in which he was able to deal with Tambourine through force alone looked almost trivial. He might even be the strongest human the Saiyan had ever seen, even stronger than Tien. His thoughts wandered toward his friends from the dojo. Hopefully Master Roshi was taking good care of them. Hopefully. It was still hard to adjust to this new world order that he now was in, but Goku's friendly nature made him more convinced that he had made the right choice. And after a particularly long voyage, the trio made it to Korin Tower. At least the bottom of it. It was so thin, it almost seemed like a spire. And there were two people living around there that reacted rather enthusiastically when they saw Goku. As quickly explained by the Saiyan, it turned out that these two were Bora and his son Upa, who are self-proclaimed guardians of the sacred land.
I will gladly give you all a lift, at least partially.
Bora smiled, but before they could start, they heard a rather unpleasant voice.
Hand over the dragonball, fat lug!
It was coming from the sky, as a massive winged creature resembling a dragon was visibly threatening Yajirobe. Isn't he kinda... Tarble started, pondering out loud, before being interrupted by an angered Yajirobe. The Ronin placed Goku in Bora's care before taking a few steps forward.
Hey, who you calling fat, you ugly green monster? I think I may have dealt with your kind before.
Oh, so you are indeed the one who injured my brother Tambourine. Well, I, Symbol, am going to be your doom.
The creature gurgled.
Who are you working for?
Goku then yelled, angered by the mention of the one who murdered his friend.
You'll find out soon enough. Father has plans for all of you.
Symbol started to lower his flight and readying for the fight. Tarble grabbed the power pole and assumed a defensive position to defend the natives and Goku.
You take him from the left, I'll take him from the right,
Yajirobe ordered, and they started to circle their opponent. As they attempted to do that, the creature sent an electric shock wave toward Tarble.
Hey kid, deflect!
Yajirobe yelled, really showing he was a dab hand when it came to fighting when he was really in the mood. In a bit of a panic though, the Saiyan decided to rotate the weapon like a fan, and once the shock hit, he stabbed the ground beneath him to, well, ground the attack. He still felt a little bit of pain, but it wasn't nearly as devastating as it could have been. Yajirobe, however, charged to the front toward the monster, Symbol trying the same old tricks with him, but to everyone's surprise, the Ronin seemed immune. Sensing an opportunity, Tarble also went toward the creature despite his own pain, which caused it to panic and its movements to become more erratic. A few hits from the power pole were enough to allow Yajirobe to slice him in half. Symbol was gone as fast as he had appeared.
Wow. You two, prepare the roast. We're going to cook him.
The Ronin put away his sword.
You're gonna eat that?
Upra's face had gone green at the moment of that utterance.
Hey, if I gotta climb up there, I need to have something in my belly to fuel the journey. Besides, his brother's armor's kinda tasty. I wonder what he tastes like.
The two natives looked at Goku and Tarble with a hint of horror in their expressions.
Yeah, he does that.
The wounded Saiyan explained apologetically. Still, the guy was strong, and everyone decided that they were not going to argue with him, especially when he was hungry. They wouldn't like it when he was hungry, which was almost all the time. But neither Upa or Bora wanted to look at it really again. They just kept their distance, while providing Goku with some more basic medical assistance. Meanwhile, Tarble decided to approach the beast that is Yajirobe, who was currently almost finished roasting the remains of Symbol. Yajirobe? He asked sheepishly.
Yeah, what's up, kid?
The Ronin seemed calmer, perhaps because he was in the middle of cooking and could almost taste the aura Symbol on his lips. This could have a soothing effect on him, perhaps.
You want some? You can have some, but not all of it.
No, I just... That was some really impressive swordsmanship you showed there. I was only taught how to use smaller weapons. I'm still trying to figure out this stuff, but... and the staff, and once Goku feels better, I'll hand it off to him, and...
To the point, kid, to the point. I got cooking to do.
You think you could show me a few tricks? I would be honored to learn from you. There was a long pause, a very awkward pause.
Oh, no one's ever asked me to teach them anything before. I mean, sure, why not?
Tarble could see that the massive cheeks on the Ronin had blushed slightly.
It's hot here.
Thanks. That means a lot.
But first we need to find that amazing food that your friend promised me.
Sure. I heard that Korin trained Goku at some point, so we might have a place there. As Yajirobe finished his feast, the trio was ready to continue on their journey. Bora suggested that he would give them a lift, literally, by throwing them up. First he did it to the Ronin, who was carrying Goku on his back, and then for Tarble. The spire was ridiculously tall, and to his surprise, the Saiyan noticed that Yajirobe was not only climbing fast, but almost galloping. He lost him relatively quickly, left on his own to get to the top. It was a harrowing experience. Goku mentioned this to him, that if he ever gets tired, he could always rely on the power pole for some backup, but Tarble knew that he had to make a good first impression and do without it. He was used to having exhausting and often harrowing training sessions with Master Shen. This was relatively pedestrian, but still quite scary. One wrong move could cost him everything, including his life. Still, He decided not to mimic Yajirobe and instead work smarter, not harder. He was rather agile and much lighter than the Ronin, so maybe he could make some breaks along the way. The sun was a problem though, as when it moved around the sky, it was slightly blinding him, burning his skin. But after what felt like an eternity, he did finally reach a balcony, where a creature resembling a white cat waited for him.
Oh well, so you finally made it. Goku was right. You're not the only one to choose the easy way, huh? That's pretty respectable, kid.
The individual smirked. Well, you must be Korin. Tarble was breathing, completely exhausted. He then stood up and bowed, but almost then collapsed, so much for the dignity there.
Hey now, take it easy, kid. Here, have a senzu bean.
Korin smirked, handing him over a small green object, a legume. What is this?
Come on, Tarble, eat it. It's good for you.
He heard Goku's voice, which sounded rather chirpy. Maybe he had consumed one of these legumes, and he was almost in perfect condition upon clapping eyes on him. Surprisingly, Yajirobe also looked full. Maybe he had consumed a fair few more than just one, as he was laying on the ground, completely catatonic.
Listen to Goku. They're very unassuming,
he added. Well, he was hungry and thirsty, so he just shoved it right in there. And the sensation was weird, as he suddenly regained all his strength and felt utterly, completely satiated. What? How? I just felt like I ate a whole banquet. I feel great. Tarble was puzzled.
Oh, that's what they do,
Korin laughed.
I already told you Bud's over there, but I don't think I can offer you much more in terms of help, kid. I hope this is enough.
But I thought you could train me. Tarble felt a little disappointed, but still remained cordial and vitalized.
Well, I don't think it would help much. See, Goku's already stronger than me, and he said that you two, you're basically equal, so, yeah, I don't think I can do much. But if it helps you, I think that climbing here could give you some gains. Very few could say that they've done this already.
Oh, I see. Tarble looked saddened, the afterglow of the bean wearing off suddenly.
Don't worry, though. There's a silver lining, kid. I know what you guys might need to fight off these monsters. Ultra divine water. I used to have a magic pot that could transport you to its location, but I can't seem to find it. But I can give you a map. It is far north of here, though.
I mean, anything that could help us defeat those guys would be a help. They serve a father of sorts, which might be even stronger. Goku then looking at Korin, agreeing with his friend, determined.
Yeah, keep them coming. So far, these are really good,
Yajirobe commented.
Korin, can we stay here for the night?
The shorter of the Saiyans asked.
We'll head on out tomorrow.
I mean, sure, be my guest.
The cat smirked.
I'll prepare some futons.
After the host went to prepare the bedding for the three travelers, Yajirobe looked at the Saiyans and said lazily,
All right, it was nice and all, but, you know what? I'm staying here.
What do you mean? You mean with Korin? Tarble tilted his head with surprise.
I don't know if he's gonna be too happy about having a buddy, a roommate,
Goku added, rather skeptical himself.
Well, come on. I have endless food here. No one's gonna bother me. It's perfect.
The two friends stared at one another, but didn't say a word. After that exchange, Tarble moved his sight on to the Ronin. Hey, so could you at least show me those moves that we talked about before we part ways?
Oh, yeah. Right.
The Yajirobe stood up and grabbed his sword. Goku, can I still use... Tarble started reluctantly.
The power pole? Yeah, sure, no problem.
The boy patted him on the back and handed over the Nyoibo to him. And indeed, the Ronin proved to be surprisingly helpful. While the two weapons were greatly different from one another, it turned out that Yajirobe had a really good eye for observing openings and errors made by Tarble, and was rather quick to point them out. Also, in a way, they both enjoyed the experience in general, which was closely watched by Korin and Goku.
Hey, you brought me some really strong people there. I must admit, I didn't expect that big flop to have it in him.
The cat giggled to himself. As the night had fallen and everyone had headed off to sleep, Tarble approached Yajirobe again. Thank you. That was a lot of fun. I learned so much.
Yeah, you weren't bad yourself, kid. I don't remember having a proper training session in, forever. So yeah, it's been fun, but, we can do this again if you ever came by here, I suppose.
Well, getting here isn't exactly easy, and I will be giving the power pole back to Goku in the near future, so, we might have to change things.
Oh, right.
Another moment of awkward silence. Maybe you can travel with us to the icy cave in the north. We could really use your help. Korin will be giving us a supply of sensu beans for the journey, so there'll be some for you to chew on, so if that helps. Another moment of silence.
Yeah, I get it. All right. I can see that you two seem pretty hopeless without me.
Tarble smiled and bowed politely. Meanwhile, Yajirobe then went on to complain loudly, mostly not to admit that for the first time in ages, he had made a friend. It was a weird feeling for the traveling warrior. The very next day, the three of them then bid farewell to Korin, who, as promised, gave them a clutch of sensu beans for the journey, but not before warning Yajirobe to not eat them all at once. The Ronin just ignored this remark, and this time, using the power pole, they started their journey toward the north. However, after a mere 2 days of travel, something interrupted their journey. An eerie shadow appeared above their heads.
So, you are the ones that have killed my dear symbol.
An old, decrepit voice could be heard.
Who are you?
Goku yelled at the floating individual. It was an elderly green man with really freaky antennae.
The name is Piccolo, but you can call me your demonic highness.
And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now.